Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I am being inspired by Shimelle. I'm delighted to be taking part in this project and I am, like I said, being inspired by Shimelle today. So I went back looking through some archives and found some things that really do inspire me. Firstly, Shimelle did loads and loads and loads of Harry Potter pages back in the day, many years ago, and I loved all of those. So I decided to do a Harry Potter themed page today in like a nod to that. But also I picked out a sketch and a layout that had been done to that sketch by Shimelle. I think it's from like 2013, actually. I'm going to see if I can look that up. While I am doing this. It might be a bit later than that. Hold on, let's have a look at the date on it. 13, yes, sketch 18 from May 2013. So yeah, quite some time ago. You know, sketches are always really inspiring and you can interpret them in so many different ways. And this particular class or particular sketch that Shimelle did was to include a starburst on your page. So that is what I am going for, and I am going to be inspired by the sketch, and I've also pulled out Shimelle's layout that she made to that sketch too. So all of those things are inspiring me today. Okay, so I need to apologise for the fact that my filming is not up to standard today. I am filming this away from home, so I don't have my regular setup. And unfortunately, we have lots of shadows appearing on screen. But soon I will realise that I have lots of shadows, and I do turn my flash on, which helps somewhat, but they don't disappear completely. So sorry about that. It's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. So I'm kind of going for it. So I started off with a sheet of black cardstock, and then I am using the Witches and Wizards 2 collection today by Echo Park Paper. I need to buy some more because I'm really down to the last bits and pieces, and I have quite a few more photos left to scrap. So I probably need to do some shopping. Yeah, so I haven't got a lot of paper left from this collection, and the papers I do have, I actually wanted to keep mostly as full sheets so I can use them for something else. But for this one, I decided I had a 4-inch strip of this Gryffindor gingham paper, so this red check. I think on Shimelle's layout, she actually used lots of different patterns for her starburst. But you don't have to do that. You can take one piece of paper and cut it into a starburst, and that works just as well. In fact, that's probably an easier thing to do. So therefore, that's what I decided to do today. Well, actually, the reason I decided to do that today was because I didn't have any other papers in order to create a starburst with. You know, I could have gone with something else, but, you know, I like a challenge, and I love a starburst, and I love Harry Potter. So I just decided to go with what was inspiring me on that day. And I find that if you have an idea and you have that spark of inspiration, then you can make it work with whatever supplies you have on hand. So that's what I've done. So black cardstock, the top of the page is my starburst in that gingham print. Or check print, and then I have covered up the bottom edge of the starburst with a strip of black paper with stars on. Now that is not from the Witches and Wizards collection, but it's what I had. It's an old Halloween paper, I think. Goodness knows from how many years ago. So on Shimelle's layout and on the sketch, she has 2 6x4 portrait photos, and she has put them together in a block. Now this is the other way that I am regularly inspired by Shimelle, because I really hate scrapbooking a 6x8 landscape photo. They are my nemesis, but yeah, I seem to get lots of them. All the children's photos from school are in that size, and all of the professional photos, if you go to places, like recently, I've recently scrapped one that was from a trip to Santa. That was 6x8. The children's school photos are 6x8. And then all of my Harry Potter photos are also 6x8. The ones that we bought at the studio tours, that is. All the ones on my phone that I took, of course, I can print whatever size I like. And I have scanned these, and I can also print these ones smaller. But as I already have them printed, I just feel that it's a bad thing to throw them away or to just put them in a cupboard and never look at them again. I feel that they're just much better off on a scrapbook page. So I always try to make myself scrapbook them straight away. Not always straight away, but as quick as possible after the event. Otherwise they get left for a long time. Never done. Anyway, so I often, whenever I am scrapbooking a 6x8 landscape photo, I often look at Shimelle sketches or layouts because she scraps in blocks of 2 6x4 photos together. And of course that makes a block of 6x8. So, and then whether that be landscape or portrait, whatever layout you're looking at can always be switched around or turned around to make it work for whatever it is that you've got. So so that's what I decided to do, was to be inspired by her blocks of 2 6x4 photos to make a 6x8, and then use one of her designs to help me on my way with this awkward shaped photo. I always find it really awkward because if you put it central, you have the awkward space either side. If you put it on one side, you have an awkward space on the other side. I just struggle with them. So anyway, on this photo, on this layout by Shimelle, she has the 2 photos, but then she has her journaling over on the right hand side. But I had 3 extra photos I wanted to include. So obviously we went to the Harry Potter studio tours and I took like 5,000 photos. So it felt good to put some extra photos on this layout. So I printed them small. On my selfie, I printed them at the 4-up size. So they're they're smaller than 2x3, but they're approximately 2x3. Oh, sorry, my little boy has come to join us on the scrapbooking table, which is slightly frustrating. He'll probably wander off with my stickers. That's what he normally does. Or look, he just stuck a witch's hat onto my layout. Not where I wanted it. Anyway, so I wanted to include extra photos. There wasn't really anywhere on the sketch that I could interpret as extra photo space, so I just clustered them around the bottom left corner. I mounted them all first onto pattern papers. I've gone for 2 blue ones and 1 green one, kind of trying to represent all the different house colours on this layout. And I've clustered them around the bottom corner, and then over on the right hand side I've added a big fussy cut stack of suitcases. So this is her on the Hogwarts Express, about to go to Hogwarts, and therefore the stack of suitcases with the words "the magic" at the bottom seemed to suit really, really well. And then I'm just adding some other bits and pieces around, like some other stickers. Now I don't have much of this collection remaining, so I have hardly any stickers left and hardly any ephemera. So that's why I need to go shopping and get some more, because the sticker sheet is so bare. It's actually slightly embarrassing. I don't think I've ever used the sticker sheet as much as I've used this one. I really like the Echo Park sticker sheets too, because there's they are really lots and lots and lots of really tiny stickers too, so I feel like they have really good value. So I decided to add some extra interest to my starburst. So because my starburst was all the same pattern, it wasn't lots of different patterns, I thought that it needed something a little bit extra. So I have taken some black thread and I have pierced holes from the middle that's underneath the photo, going out towards the edges of each of the kind of triangles or shards. I've done them at different varying lengths and different places, but I've tried to stick to the middle of each shard, yeah, it looks really good. And then I've just added one long stitch with the black thread to each one. So rather than doing lots of tiny stitches to form one long line, I've just done long stitches. And actually I'm so pleased that I did that, because it really does add something to the layout, and I'm going to embellish the starburst more as well. But before I do anything else, I need to add a title. Now these alphabet stickers are going way back. They're probably 2013, as old as the example layout I was looking at. They are very old. I don't know the date, but they are pretty old. I have just stuck those onto a piece of plain kind of ready burgundy coloured paper, and then I'm trimming around them to basically, the reason I'm doing that is so that they wouldn't have looked right stuck directly onto the background. Plus, they also wouldn't have stuck very well because they're flat stickers, not foam, and they are going over distressed edges and the top of my photo, which is a different level, and also over threads as well. So they would have had no hope in terms of sticking. So I've stuck them onto that piece of paper, trimmed around it to give it a small edge, and then I can raise the whole thing up on foam pads as one title, and that works perfectly. That will hold all the letters in place perfectly. All aboard, that says. Because obviously she is on the train. So I'm liking how that's looking. I just wanted to add a couple of little fussy cut letters, envelopes from, well, I don't know who they're from, but they are fussy cut from a sheet of paper. And then I've punched a whole bunch of stars with a star punch from different coloured papers in the collection. So I have just a few scraps of each of the house papers remaining. So I have the green, the blue, the yellow, and the burgundy. So I've punched stars all in one size, and I have raised those on foam pads, dotted them all over randomly over the top of the starburst area. And then I've also got a few wood veneer stars too, so I'm just going to add those as well. Did I say they're all going to be raised on foam pads, those stars? Say I wanted to embellish the starburst more to make it more interesting because, of course, it is not made up from lots of different pattern papers. It's made up from one pattern paper that's cut into a starburst shape. So I wanted to make it more interesting, and I've definitely done that by adding the stitching and by adding the stars, and I've got wood veneer stars as well. And then I've also added a lightning bolt as well, because I had some of those cut from my silhouette for a previous project. So I had some of those left over, so I've stuck one of those on too. Okay, and I'm pretty much there actually. That is all finished. I added some journaling right at the very bottom. I struggled with somewhere to write the journaling, so I had to create some strips. Okay, so here are a few close-up shots. I hope you have enjoyed this layout. I really did enjoy this project and being inspired by Shimelle to create something a little different today. Thank you so very much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland.